And hello everyone and welcome to Bins and Whiskers. We have reached 1,000 subscribers. Me and the Gerbils thank you very much. So as part of reaching 1,000 subscribers, I asked you guys on the YouTube bulletin what video you guys would like to see next, and you guys wanted to see how to tame your gerbil, so we are going to do that. Aren't we going? But before we get started, of course, make sure you boop that subscribe button in the snoot and we'll get on to the video. So we're going to start with the basics, and just remember in the beginning it's going to be a process with patience as the reward. Now there will be some days where everything is going amazing and then other days not so much, but just remember that every day is part of the process and each day counts, and don't get too discouraged when one day is better than the other. But to start off with, when you first get your gerbils, obviously you don't want any kind of handling interaction just yet. So what I like to do is to get them used to my voice and just my presence near their enclosure, so they get used to me being there. Obviously in the beginning they're a lot more skittish, and maybe when they see you they might dart into the bedding. But another great thing to do when you are talking to them so they get used to their voice is to also have some sort of call when you're about to give them food. So what I like to do when I'm about to give them food is make a little sound, like a clicking sound with my mouth, like, and that's usually the call for food. Actually talk to my gerbils in Spanish because they are Mexican, so we are going to demonstrate that for you right now. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. And I like to move the food jar as well. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. You want food? Food. But it's definitely a very positive interaction, so it's something I like to do almost every day, and I encourage you to try and talk to them every day, or at least when you are here with them, and especially when you are going to feed them. Gerbils are social animals, so they love to hear your voice and are very curious and will eventually understand what you're trying to say and what sound makes the food is coming voice, so definitely recommend that. And another tip that goes with this is while they're eating, so they get used to your hands in the enclosure, you can actually pet them. While they're eating, they tend not to care as much because food matters much more. So you can get away with touching them and rubbing them, and they get used to your hand in the enclosure. In the beginning, and probably a few times around, they might run away from your hand, but this does help them to get used to you not doing anything dangerous while they are out in the open, so it's a very good positive reinforcement thing to do. And you're going to notice that food is very involved when you're trying to tame your gerbils. Obviously they are suckers for food, so it's going to help a lot when you are trying to tame them and get used to you. So the next tip I recommend is to have food in your hand. I like to use millet sprays for birds just because they're really long, and so they can trust it more than a little tiny piece of fruit or something else. So I like to hold the end with my thumb so that they have room for all of the rest, and then I just like to put it in the enclosure and let them come to it. They definitely will eventually, although I think I'm blocking with my hand, so I'll switch hands. And they will even come into your hand, and you can even try raising your, you can even try raising your hand a bit so that they have to walk up into your hand to get the millet. But if they don't trust you enough to be in your hand just as yet, you can just hold it like this and let them, and move it around so they know that you are here, and let them grab it and eat it. This will help for them to trust you because you are giving them food and it's something very amazing to them. And you can try getting them in your hands like this, and they will continue to eat. And of course, while they're eating, you can move your hands a little so they get used to your movement and that you're an actual moving being and not just a floor, so that they know it's you. And you can also pet them so they get used to you touching them like this as well. This is one of my favorite methods because you get to interact with them a lot, and it's really cute, and it just makes me so happy. They really trust me, and your gerbils, when they trust you, you will have a bond that you have never experienced before. Here you guys go. Here you go, Almond. My third gerbil, Almond, is the least trusting gerbil, so that's why he wasn't in my hand. He's actually never gotten out of being shy, so that's important to realize too. Some gerbils are just not going to be as trusting as you would like them to be, and you have to respect that as well. Some gerbils and pets in general just don't like being handled, but they will come around eventually, just not all the time, and it's something that you just need to learn to live with. Everybody likes their own space, so it's something to understand. Another thing to help them get used to you is to have them have a little playtime outside of the enclosure. Now, I use this to cover the egg crate that I use as their lid, just so they can't chew on it. So I actually like using this so that they are able to get up on here for a little bit of playtime. Although I kind of scared them a little bit. Hello, it's me. Let me keep myself. And they don't come up here on their own, but they usually do because they love being outside of their enclosure. I just kind of take a treat so that they follow it and want to come. And another great way to get them used to you is to get up here. They have to use your hand. So they have to get on your hand. There you go. And they can be up here with you. And well, he's in my hand right now. The idea was to get him over here, but let's see if we can get Lemon to come up here. Hey, Lemon. Come here. Oh, sorry. I forgot to use my hand as a stool. Come on. Usually they jump up here, but I guess today they're being little chickens. Little chickens. Hello. There you go. This is actually Almond. I'm surprised. He's probably going to run away. Hello. Now they all want treats. Lemon, do you want a treat? Where did I... And Lemon is the last... Oh, there you go. So they can't get up here by themselves. They just are lazy sometimes. Hey, you can't have another one. Oh my god, I can't get that out of his hand now. Well then, you cheater. But getting them out of the enclosure and giving them a positive reinforcement is also a great idea, because now they like the idea of coming out and they're not too scared. Of course, they're looking for treats now. But they also just like to come out just to walk around as well when there aren't any treats involved. Although now that I have given them a treat, that's all they care about right now, isn't it? So you can see they get brave with you when you are rewarding them. Just make sure not to give them treats all the time, because you do not want them to get fat. And especially with sugary treats, it's something you should only give them once a week. But this is a great way for them to interact with you because they are not in their home, so they're kind of out of their comfort zone and they kind of trust you in a way. As you can see, he just like climbed up into my hand and is going to go back, and it's just a great way for you to interact with them and talk to them, let them get used to your voice and let them get used to just you as a person. They love being up here and just walking around. They feel like they are being rebels by doing this because they think they're not allowed, which they're not always allowed, so it makes sense. But it's a great way for them to also not be as bored as well. So it's one of my favorite tips as well when taming them. Also, when taming your gerbils, I guess it makes sense to say that sometimes they will nibble you. It's important that you don't move because even if they mean to harm you, sometimes they don't. They just are genuinely curious to see if you will harm them. So this is just a way for them to test to see if you are trustable. So it's something very scary to get used to, but eventually you will. I was scared at first, but now I'm pretty calm with it. And sometimes they'll even lick you. It's pretty cute. One tip I do have is when you do have your fingers out, if they grab it with their hands, which he did not, but will you? No. Yeah, if they grab it with your hands like that, then they might nibble you, so it's just like a cautious warning so you know to gently remove your finger if you don't want to get bit. And of course, when handling your gerbils, it's important that your hands are not scented of any kind because they might chew it if it smells like food. Having your arm in the enclosure as well, or just your arm wherever they are in general, is a great way to get them to bond with you as well. They will climb over your hands and your arms. And if you are sitting in there in your bed or something, you can also have them run around your bed, and they will probably run around your lap as well. So it's really good as a way to tame them. And they will be curious about every little thing. So oh, you're gonna fall, dude. So they will run along your hands and just use you. Sometimes when you're cleaning their enclosure, they might run up your arms and stuff, so that's always fun as well. They are very great climbers. They know what they're doing, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And one of the most important things when handling your gerbil is to make sure you're not picking them up from above like this, because they can feel like it's a predator. So a great way to get them to go on your hand is to put it flat down, and you can put it on both sides so they eventually have to go up on you and they will be in your hand. So that's the best way to pick them up. And make sure you are not grabbing them from above because they will not like that, right? Hello, where are you going? And as you can see, Beanie is very trusting. He's very curious all the time. So, he likes digging my hair also. Like if it's bedding, but it's really not. I'm sorry. You can get tangled in my hair. You should be careful. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? What are you doing? There you go. Please don't go there. Of course, always make sure you are watching your gerbils outside of their enclosure because they are very curious. As you just saw, he went all the way where the TV is. Why'd you do that? But that is it for this video. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys try bonding with your gerbils. It's really a bond that you can't get from any other pet. It's really amazing, and I love them so much. And I know that you guys do too, because gerbils are the biggest reason we reached 1,000 subscribers. So we thank you very much again. We love that you want to learn about them, and we will continue to learn about them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You're gonna get tangled in my hair. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below with some of your favorite taming tips or what you are trying to do to bond with your little gerbil. And I'll see you guys in the next video.